Hi, Kamil.
Hello, Wojtek.
Let's turn to technology. What are the best technologies to use in military?
So, like we started, the readability is a very important factor, and also high contrast, but also low power. Still, the TFT would be number one here. That's the most popular display for military equipment as well. But we can use variation, yes. As I said, most of the TFTs are transmissive, but we can use transflective. Maybe transflective won't have the high contrast, especially if we switch off the backlight, but it doesn't matter, yes. If you can read the display, it's more important than seeing the perfect image, yes. So the colors will be not that perfect, but the battery will work a few days longer. So
I guess the ruggedness and robustness is more important in those devices than the image quality.
Yeah, readability and low power, yes, for handheld. Another thing that is typically different for military is that they are seeking lightweight. So we try to make. I still talk about handheld devices or soldier carry devices because all the equipment is very heavy anyway, so we try to design as thin as possible, as light as possible, a little bit similar to consumer market, but in a robust way, and then also toward the cover glass, there are requirements. Yes. So in most of the cases in industrial or medical, we use chemically strengthened glass. This is our standard glass that we use, but for military, we use a Gorilla Glass, way tougher glass and could be thinner. Yes. So we can go sub-millimeter with the glass and still be very strong.
It made me wonder how much design process do you have when you work with the military devices, or is it all constrained by the certificate standards and you just have to fulfill all the checkpoints?
Yes, there are many of them, but most of the time we work with the customer and customer send us the exact requirements. But sometimes if the customer is not experienced or not experienced on the display side, we have the experience from previous projects that we use, and we have our own checklist what we need to, let's say, pass, what kind of points we need to go through to make sure this display will be right one.
That's good to hear because I guess it's pretty tough.
Yes, there are not many companies that work with military equipment. We do. We have several projects already that we have done, either in Europe and US.
Can you shed some light on one of those cases, or is it classified?
I cannot share any details. I can maybe tell you that most of them were handheld devices. So I would say the hardest part, because we needed to go for this low power and high readability process. It was like from few inches, 3-4 inch small displays up to 10 inch larger size. We did design not only the display, the touch screen. We also designed the touch screen with the Tempest certification.
What is that?
Tempest is a kind of military certification that prevents the display from emitting the electromagnetic field that you would be able to read from the distance. Actually, the typical monitor that you have on your desk or laptop, whatever, is generating the electrical field that could be read from the distance. And actually, with the right equipment, you can sit with your face monitor to the wall, but someone in the next room could see what you have on the screen.
Okay, so you mean James Bond espionage kind of?
Yes. So you can read,
surveillance.
Because every pixel, is switched on and off, and it generates the electrical electromagnetic wave that we can read from the distance. Yes, so something like hearing from the distance, we can read the sound wave. We receive electromagnetic wave, and with the proper equipment, we can restore the image, and we can see what you see on your screen. So the Tempest screens are protected with special shielding. Typically, it's a kind of mesh, and this shielding prevents the electromagnetic wave to escape, so you cannot read it. So we experience with the Tempest as well. Low power, as I mentioned, handheld devices. We did design not only the displays, but also electronic around, some like interface boards or LED drivers, etc.
And how about lifetime of equipment and components?
Yes, similar like in medical devices. So expectation is many years, 5 years total minimum, typically 10 years or longer. It's a really tough market, a long process of a design and the certification. But once you are in the project and you prove that you can deliver, then you are in the project for many years.
Okay, I guess we have covered most of issues and requirements of military devices. A short summary: what are the main crucial aspects when you consider designing such a device with a display?
If I would design the military device, First of all, I would start with Riverdi.com website and select some standard products that we can later enhance, but it would be also a good idea to contact us in the same time. So select maybe some size, resolution, brightness that you would like to have, or prepare maybe the power requirements. So tell us, for example, I cannot exceed 1 watt of power, yes, for, I don't know, 4-inch display. Then we know that, and we can tell you what kind of brightness we can achieve with this kind of power. So prepare maybe the basic requirements and then contact us. And once we contact, we will ask you way more questions, and we'll be able to start the project.
All right, that sounds promising.
Yeah, so military projects are in every case custom projects anyway, so the contacting us is the best way to start.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.